Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of the Jersey Comic Krew, your favorite podcast for all things pop culture, comics, TV shows, and movie related. As always, I'm your host Chris Heller, and with me is the awesome
Rob Moran. Thank you for having me.
And we're having you. You're always here.
I know.
We derailed already.
I just hear people that say that.
Yeah, when you're getting interviewed, thank you for having me. Always,
I'm interviewed on my own show. It's great.
There you go. As always, make sure you check out the description below. We will be talking spoiler stuff, and actually a little bit. Not really, actually, this time.
Yeah, I think you guys. I think you're pretty safe.
Yeah, I think you're safe. We're just
spoilers may come up a conversation.
Exactly, but always check the description below. So we're going to talk about today.
Tony dies. Boom. The big spoiler. We're not even talking about that today.
We're talking about news today, and some big time stuff going on in the comic industry.
How must have somebody who hasn't watched anything but like, oh, they're talking about Marvel today. Ah, fuck, they got me. They got me.
They're gonna hunt and kill you now for like the next year.
Hey Chris.
Yes.
Speaking of hunting and killing, Jurassic World.
Where's our segue like meter?
Jurassic World animated series has been announced for Netflix. Mm-hmm. It's going to come out next year.
Yes.
They have a clip online. We've seen it. Looks great. Yeah. It's like
the animation looks really fucking good.
Yeah, I was like, this is animation.
It's more like CGI.
Yeah, it looks like CGI.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of animation is, but
do you think they're calling it Jurassic World? So do you think they're going to be covering any of like Chris Pratt's character or something like that?
I'm sure it'll be just Chris Pratt's character, then how he became the tamed dinosaurs.
Does it? I mean,
like
we saw
Blue and them.
Yeah, like we saw a Velociraptor. That's what we saw. That's the only thing we saw. So is it? Could it be like how he got Blue and trained Blue or something?
Which would be great for an animated series.
I'll probably check it out.
I would too. I think it's going to be a fun time. I'm liking the Jurassic World series as a whole. Some people didn't like the last installment of the movie. I did. I thought it was fun. I mean, it's a big monster attack. That's all it needs to be.
It's fun. It was just really bad
fun. But yes, speaking of bad fun, Chris, Swamp Thing has been canceled.
No!
It's fun, but it's bad. So after season 1 has been officially canceled.
It was canceled before the second episode was even out.
Yes. Like, so a lot of you guys are like, what's happening?
Noob.
Huh?
Noob. God damn.
Yeah. And you guys know I've been very excited, looking forward to the series and the season and everything about it.
Yeah, man.
So
you and me both.
What we have found out is because due to North Carolina tax regulations or something,
so weird.
The budget is too much. They're losing too much money on it. It's too much to invest into. Hold on.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Let me get the whole spiel out there, and then we'll yell at people. Okay.
We're gonna spiel.
And that's probably a big root cause of why the show got cut from 13 episodes down to 10. Even if it cut down to 10, I was fine with it because that's still a healthy show for animated, right? Even though Doom Patrol was 15. So...
Wait, no, it's not animated. It's live action.
What did I say?
Animated.
I didn't mean animated. I meant for streaming service.
Streaming show, okay.
Yeah, streaming show. But the fact that because of lack of budget from DC and paying out and Warner Media... is losing a show before it even airs really upsets me. And there's also been disputes with the heads and executives at Warner Media with the show's direction. They didn't want it the way it's going. They wanted it more in the CW route, of course. So it's a little bit safer.
Yeah.
Now, going with the terms of the budget. One last thing, and then we're going to go. We talked about it on episode before with the DC TV universe with the CWs. That this is only in the U.S., so they're not getting a lot of revenue coming in.
Yeah.
Which means they don't have a lot of money to play with. Which means production has to go down. Which means it's all down to the line. So.
Yeah, no, we were talking about this before we started recording today, and when Rob mentioned to me about
the first thing that came out of my mouth when I saw him. Not how are you doing? You got a bagel for me? In his arms, I wept.
the taxation thing alone.
Without representation.
Without representation. It's an abomination.
The 13 to the swamp. It's crazy. He's British now.
I just don't understand how, as a multi-billion company, you can't ahead of time know exactly what your budget is, including the taxation process of each state.
Well, hear me out.
You should know going into this and have all that shit done and ready beforehand. It's mind bending.
I think they highly underestimated how many people were subscribing.
Overestimated or underestimated? Because it would be
they overestimated
the numbers, which are low.
Yes, because of the poor service and the fact that it's not global.
Yeah,
and they also have these other shows which good on production value, good budgets.
I like Titans a lot.
Titans and like they do crazy things in Doom Patrol, and then you have the animation alone costs money in Young Justice.
Yeah, but I'm sure it's not any more than what they've done before. When it was on Cartoon Network.
Hear me out though. Mm-hmm. And they have more shows coming. They have a Stargirl show. Yeah. They have a Harley Quinn show. They have, I think, a couple others.
And Harley Quinn's animated, correct?
Yes, it is. They have all these shows at once. Mm-hmm. And it might just be like, all right, this is so much at once. Mm-hmm. What is the show that we could cut that's going to affect them the least? In their opinion, they picked Swamp Thing over Stargirl, which I have no idea why.
Because Stargirl hasn't started yet.
Yeah. And they probably have even...
And Stargirl won't cost as much as Swamp Thing will cost.
Correct.
Because Swamp Thing is not just a genre-type show. You're talking extensive costume, makeup, setting stuff that you can't really duplicate anywhere else.
Yes.
Stargirl, at the end of the day, is just in, like, a suit with a staff. It's not going to be that much money, as much money as Swamp Thing put into Swamp Thing for location and everything else.
I'm hoping that either this show gets shopped, they fix their stuff, because there's going to be fan outcry bigger than when it was Lucifer. Everybody, one episode, and people are freaking out.
Well, here's the question to you, right? So, like, this is a Friday, so episode 2 just came out today.
National Donut Day.
National Donut Day! Free donuts. Get your donuts, America! So, today is only the, like, viewing of episode 2, and we know it's basically done. How many people, number one, how many people will not watch the show now knowing that it's already over?
There's definitely going to be some. They're like, why am I going to get invested?
And then number 2 is, when they dropped it from 13 episodes to 10, was there anything already in your mind of like, oh shit, they're probably going to can this because they have no idea what they're doing right now?
See, no, I didn't have that. When they said 13 to 10, I'm like, all right, maybe it was a little truncated. Mm-hmm. Not truncated.
But it wasn't just like it wasn't just a TV episode drop. It was like, no, stop production, finish this. Like, we need to stop everything tomorrow.
That's
like,
what I was
we're packing up shop.
So the fact they went from 13 to 10, maybe like, all right, we don't need to expand it. You know, first season, let's just get it out and make it nice. We don't need to elongate certain segments. The fact that they said, hey, stop now. Hey. Wrap up production right away. You know, we're not doing this anymore. That screamed to me, uh-oh. And that makes sense that they can't do it anymore because every day they were there, they were putting a lot of money in it.
Totally.
So hopefully the season and series doesn't suffer towards the end because of that. And I'm hoping not.
I hope you're right. Cause
in one episode, I got to talk about a scene.
Go ahead.
It's a small spoiler. So be warned. They're in the hospital, down on the bottom. They have a body. Mm-hmm. It's been infected. I'm not going to get into any more detail than that. Then Alec... What's his last name?
Alec Holland.
Thank you, Holland. I was thinking somebody else. Alec Holland put some kind of serum on a sample.
Alec Guinness, maybe?
Maybe. They put it on a sample and somewhere else. It agitates the body over there. And me and you are going to know why. Mm-hmm. Should I just say it?
The green.
The green, because everything's connected. Mm-hmm. And then it transforms and grows into these crazy things. And the body starts coming apart, this embodying it and becoming like this, almost like this entity and trying to attack it. It felt like a horror movie.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there and I'm just awe-inspired. I'm like, wow. This is I can't believe what I'm watching.
When you watched the first episode, did you feel like... This feels like an Alan Moore, dark, disturbing yet somehow beautiful concept?
I got the dark.
Okay. Again, one episode.
One episode. It felt like the beginning of a horror movie. Like it's drawing me in. And you know me, a lot of shows, a lot of episodes. I'm playing on this, right? My little phone here, guys.
I don't know how you do it.
With CW, come on.
Can't blame me for that one.
But like with this, like I was getting my full attention no matter what, right? Mm-hmm. But this sucked me in so good, like I was just zoned in. I was just
locked in.
And then like I had
Take me to your leader.
I paused it a couple of times just to let things seep in, me do a walk around, just so I could elongate the process.
Yeah.
That's I don't like to do that in TV shows, but like this one I was like, all right, this is a natural break here. Let me pause it. Let me relieve myself. Let me come back, get a drink.
Let me relieve myself. Oh,
and just enjoy this experience more.
I have to relieve myself.
It was... Maybe it's because I have a love for this character.
Yeah.
And a couple of things that happened, and I was like, whoa, already? Whoa, wow, oh.
No, yeah,
awesome.
I'm upset. So I haven't started watching it yet, and I'm already upset that it's gone. Like, I'm a completionist, and I'm also someone who likes to do things in order, so I'm going to watch Doom Patrol before I watch this, even though I know they're not connected. But I really hope that whatever they decide with...
And the acting's so good. So good.
Well, I really hope with whatever they decide with AT&T and either picking up this new kind of Warner Brothers app style or redoing DC Universe the way it should have been in the first place, where it's accessible everywhere to everyone. I don't know. I think we have to kind of hope that this show gets picked up again later on.
So that was my next question. Do you think it will? Do you think fan outcry and the reorg or whatever they're going to do?
I think it's a tough question to answer now. I think the fact that only episode 2 is only out as we speak, I think you have to wait to see how the first season ends.
Okay.
I highly doubt it's going to end with like one of those like cliffhangers where like, look at this, it's a whole series in one season. Like, it could totally end here.
No, I don't think it's going to
be like that.
I don't think so at all.
Because season 1 is such a world-building season for any show. I think it has to be one of those where it leaves such a mark on certain people that they're like, we have to do something to bring this back. Like, the people who make shows have to watch this and say, this show made a mark on me, and I like it and love it for these reasons.
I'm sure.
And I need to be someone who's a champion for it and try to bring it back.
I'm sure, especially this day and age where shows get canceled and then revived other places, people are more and more aware of how much fans like this stuff. Like, look at Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Look at Lucifer.
It's been on 17 different networks.
Yeah, look at Lucifer. Look at all these things that like end and they get revived. And I'm sure Happy and Deadly Class are going to get revived because there's fan outcry.
Yeah, they might be on like Netflix or something.
Netflix is going to pick it up like this, and then they're going to go from here to here. They're like, people are more aware. Like, people will pay for this. It's not like 10 years ago where something got canceled and the people really didn't have an avenue to voice it. They didn't have podcasts like we have today. They didn't have social media, Instagram, Twitter, which is still a small sample size. But, you know, they say, like, when you take your time and write a letter to the president and mail it in, people are like, all right, this counts for, like, maybe 1,000 or 10,000 because that many people feel the same way. They kind of do that. Yep. It's the same way today. And that's why these revivals are usually successful. So I'm hopeful that we're going to see the show again in some shape or form. I don't know when.
And I would say, for anyone else like us who's upset with the outcome already, because I think out of all the shows coming out, I was most excited for this one. Now, in hindsight, I'm kind of excited for Titan Season 2, but I was mostly excited for this one as far as being so different, being so in a genre of horror where we don't have, like, think about it, we don't have a lot of good horror things anymore. No. Horror movies are garbage now. In my opinion, I think they suck.
They're in a renaissance.
I like the older horror movies way better.
Like, It was fantastic. Us was great. Not Us. Us was alright, but Get Out. Get Out was fantastic.
Get Out was great, but I don't know if Get Out's horror.
It's a thriller, but
it's more of a
realm.
But like I think we're in a period where, like, if you have a TV show, a comic book character, a mainstream comic book character, where Swamp Thing and kind of like that dark arts DC stuff, which DC has a big upper hand on that over Marvel.
Huge.
That Dark Justice League, those dark characters, the characters that deal with magic, the characters that deal with demons and hell and heaven and all that stuff. I think Swamp Thing kind of takes the cake as far as those characters. So I really hope there's later on we could get past this point and it comes back. But also, I would say, enjoy it. We have 10 new episodes of a show that a lot of us never thought we'd even have.
Yeah.
And if this is the 10 episodes we get, then let's enjoy them to the fullest.
What if they're canceling the show? Aside from all that, but they plan to do a movie.
That'd be cool.
Same cast and everything, and then just do it as a movie.
I don't think they
do
will.
The 10. Imagine if they do the 10. That kind of sets up the universe. And they wrap it all up with a movie.
I mean, that sounds really awesome.
Yeah, but they're not. I know.
But
I know.
You know how the TV to movie ratio is now?
I know. But they could do a movie on the DC universe.
I was going to say, unless it's a TV movie like I don't know if, you or I haven't seen it, but I hear it's one of like the best shows ever, Deadwood, on HBO.
No, I heard about it. I heard it's good.
Where, like, they had, like, 6 or 7 seasons of the show. It ended and got canceled. Mm-hmm. And then they just wrapped it up this year with a HBO movie of, like, that to end the show. So, like, stuff like that does happen. I think it would be great to see this continue on in film form, come back with a miniseries. Come back with something, like a certain number of hours that you could tell the story you wanted to tell. Especially if it's the Alan Moore epic, if it's the pivotal, if they're going to, you got to think they're pivoting around the central Alan Moore story. That is the quintessential Swamp Thing. Mm-hmm. Nothing against Wrightson and Len Wein because they created him, but the Alan Moore run is unreal. You got to think that they were hoping for the long game of the show and to hit a genre that isn't hit on the notes that it's hit already. And if people are out crying already and it's been 1 episode out, most of us haven't even seen episode 2 yet, then that's saying something in a positive way. You know what I mean?
Huge statement.
We'll see, but I would say, definitely enjoy all the new episodes while you can. And if this is what we get for now, use it as like almost like Firefly or Serenity. It's one of those like one and done season things that never got picked up. That is just a cult classic.
If Firefly happened today, would have got picked up.
Yes.
Let us know in the comments down below what you think about Swamp Thing's cancellation. Keep the conversation going on our social media.
Yes.
Moving on. Jessica Jones.
Yes.
The season and series finale. Well, not season finale. The last season series finale. We just saw a trailer.
Yes.
It's coming out June 14th, right?
June 14th.
Did I get my dates right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Friday.
Yes. Looks interesting.
Next week, right after E3.
Yeah, looks good.
It does, and Jessica has...
what was that, Paul?
No, because Jessica's fooled me before. Like, the Season 2 trailer looked really good, too. And Season 2 is really rough.
Season 2 was rough.
I hope this season...
I like this season trailer better than last season.
I do, too. And the other thing that's a positive is they knew that the show was ending.
Yeah, so
which a lot of the other shows did not get. They knew the show was ending, so they actually they were able to end this season on if the show would never get picked up again. So it's kind of like a series finale of the show.
Question for you. The main villain, the main antagonist, seems like a brainiac almost. Like he knows everything. He's a master planner. I am not familiar with him. Mm-hmm. I don't read a lot of Jessica Jones.
Yep.
I know you do. Mm-hmm. Do you know this guy? His name sounds familiar.
I do. I don't want to give it away.
Okay, don't.
There's an arc in the old Bendis run.
Okay.
That I'm not sure if they're going to take it based on the trailer. Okay. But I don't want to spoil it if they do.
So people want some insight on the season.
Some insight, though.
You read that arc with Bendis?
Yeah, I would read all of Bendis. Like the old Alias stuff. I would read that anyway. I would say the biggest thing is, yes, he's extremely intelligent. He's more like, not 1 or 2, like more like 7 or 8 steps ahead. Okay. Of Jessica. This is going to be a detective versus detective story.
Is he a Jessica villain, or is he a Defenders villain, or is like
more of a Jessica? I'd say
more Jessica. Okay.
Yeah, I would say that kind of solidifies him as a Jessica villain. Okay. He's very smart. He also has some cool, like, power set behind him. Oh. I didn't even. Not saying. Don't tell me. Not saying meta. Not saying not meta. Not saying anything. But he is a very interesting character in the comic. I don't know how they're doing him in the show. So please do not crucify me if I'm wrong with the show, because
I need a partner.
Show's gonna take its own life. But I think we're gonna get an interesting take on a detective versus detective, maybe a little Batman Noir-esque.
Here's a question for you. Mm-hmm. The show ends. It's fine. It goes out in a good bang. Year or 2 from now, Hulu wants to pick up Daredevil.
Yes, they've already talked about it.
I know. There's a lot of talks about it. A lot of talks. Mm-hmm. If they pick up Daredevil, let's say, Happy News picks up Daredevil Season 4, right? Jessica, because they're ending the show in a way you would end a series finale, do you think they could bring the Jessica Jones show back? Totally. Or is it only in the capacity of Defenders? I am under the impression, because the show's kind of meh, you bring her up only in the Defenders fashion and let her rebuild her brand?
I think it depends on...
The season?
It depends on the showrunners, too. If they have an idea and say, hey, I want to bring Jessica back and I want to do this.
Okay.
Then, and if everyone agrees and they like it and, this certain writer, this certain director, these creators have a vision, then they'll do it. Okay. If they say, hey, Jessica racked up, it's done, we might bring back Defenders, we'll throw her in there, and that'll be that direction. I think Daredevil's the one you want back in season form.
Yes.
I personally hope Luke Cage shows up in Jessica season 3.
I hope so too.
Because
they get married to lovers and everything.
Excuse me.
I don't think, but I'm going to say on record, I don't think he comes.
I don't think so either.
Which is very upsetting.
Yeah, I would love to see that. Or Hulu can
take touch it.
Well, Hulu can take another direction too and say, hey,
Jessica and Luke show.
Or Heroes for Hire and do Luke and Danny.
Oh, I like that.
So you never know what the possibilities are. The first step is, hey, are they going to be able to do it in a couple years?
Another question for you. We just talked about Swamp Thing earlier in this episode.
Yes.
And, right before this.
Right, yeah, like 3 minutes ago.
And I brought up the idea of ending it with a movie.
Yes.
And I know we're talking about Jessica, but in Daredevil, because that's the most popular one.
Oh, it's amazing.
Instead of bringing it back as a show, do you think there's a possibility of doing a movie? Big movie, like Marvel movie? Or would they not even end it with a Marvel movie? Would they bring in the Heroes for Hire Defenders in the MCU, give them their own movies, keep the characters?
If they do Daredevil as a big-time MCU movie, they're going to recast everything.
They're going to recast?
Yeah, that's just going to happen.
Okay. I don't think they should, but with him, but I guess.
I don't think so either. But I think Daredevil bringing the show back is totally more of a possibility as far as Hulu, maybe. It doesn't seem like that would be on Disney Plus, but we'll see. I mean, it's too early to tell yet because that contract has to kind of dissipate for the next couple of years. But I would personally, I hope Jessica goes out on a good note. I hope as the last season of this era of Defenders S shows, I hope Jessica goes out on a really positive note.
Moving on.
See?
I got comic book news to talk about.
Oh, comic book news.
Scott Snyder. Mm-hmm. The man behind the bat. One of the best Batman runs. He's writing Justice League right now.
He is.
Crazy convoluted story that we're all loving. He has told me, personally, that Justice League 25 starts a DC event.
It's basically so big from now on that it's going to be an event. Yeah.
So, what this tells me is that we're getting back to comic book glory. And what I mean by that is that in the early days of comic books, they didn't need a sticking event comic for everything. Mm-hmm. The events were just in the books. Yes. They were just so good, they were just in the books. They were like, oh, you don't have to pick up anything extra and waste more money. Mm-hmm. It's just here. And then when they did the event books, it was even bigger.
Yep.
Now we got into this kind of state of normalcy. They create a new book. It's half-half. The stories in the actual comic, they're either really good or whatever. He's bringing it back to, like, oh, in the story, they could just be just as good as events, if not bigger.
And that's what I absolutely love. Yeah. Like, most people pick up Justice League anyway because it's the flagship title of DC.
Yes.
Most people pick it up anyway because Scott Snyder's writing it. Now that he's like, hey, this Year of the Villain thing that we were teasing in the free comic book day issue.
It's going to be big.
Well, the 25-cent comic book day issue. The stuff with the Anti-Monitor and the World Builder and the Monitor and their mother. All this stuff will be in this book, but it is going to feel like an event. I'm like, let's fucking go.
This Jerry Springer of the Cosmos event that's happening in DC.
This Maury Povich event.
Jerry, Batman.
It's going to be great.
You are not the mother.
And then they have to run all the way to the back of the studio.
Can you imagine? I'm supposed to know. Oh my God! That I want them to make now a DC special of the Maury Povich. It's gonna be like, just with the Robins. You are not the father.
They wouldn't be able to get Batman's DNA. They'd be like, "Who are you really?" I'm Batman. No. But like, we need your. I'm Batman. Like he would never
make DNA from the suit.
Like it would be like ridiculous.
Your DNA came back as polyester and leather.
They wouldn't be able to get the needle into Superman. Like it'd be like ridiculous.
They could get a needle into Superman very easy.
There's no kryptonite.
You don't think Mario Povich could go for kryptonite? He probably. What if Mario Povich was Lex Luthor in this?
Mario Povich is Lex Luthor in real life. Let's be serious. So like like Scott is doing the Lord's work as far as comic book writing right now.
Yeah.
He's putting big time event stuff in the book, like you said. It's not we have to buy War of the Realms and Thor and Avengers and Venom
and War of the Realms tie-in
and every tie-in
and that team
and every book you already read is a tie-in and there's more tie-ins. Like no, fuck that.
I mean, to be fair, I am reading most of the tie-ins.
I refuse.
I like it. It's my wallet though.
The worst curse word ever in comics is tie-in.
No, I think it's variant.
No,
you don't think
people
that's worse?
Love variants.
I know, but like,
it's
what spends more? What do you spend more money on? Tie-ins or variants?
Yes, but variants you get something out of a variant. Way more than a tie-in, in my opinion. Tie-ins are like, hey,
tie-in you get another part of the story.
No, you don't. Tie-ins are the word tie-in is
they can't.
It's the main storyline is happening. A tie-in is like, hey. Remember that thing you read in the main storyline? It's also here, but from a different perspective.
And a little
Give
bit
me
more
$4. Nah, man. I'm good. I'd rather get a variant than a tie-in any day.
The variant, you just shits on the... shit. It just sits...
Shits on the shelf!
It just... It's disgusting. It just sits on the shelf.
Variant just be shitting on the shelf.
Or you put it on the wall.
Yeah, it's art. Yeah. You're an art guy.
I know, I love art.
Those are variants right there. I got variants all over the place.
Yeah, those are Star Wars.
They're amazing. They're Mark Brooks Star Wars, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
I'm not a big fan of Mark Brooks.
You're high up your
I
ass.
like it.
He's fucking brilliant.
It's always just like everything
looks real.
Everything looks brown. Like that's the only color he uses. Look at every variant he's ever done. Even the reds have brown in it. Like look at there. Like the color brown. Like everything is brown. The black is brown. The white is brown.
You're looking at those specifically where there's actually a lot of brown. Because Chewie is brown.
Google.
Luke's wearing brown.
Everything he does is brown. Or it's a burgundy. It's brown or burgundy.
It's a fucking conspiracy.
He's great.
Mark Brooks only colors brown.
Brown or burgundy. I don't know what it is. He just likes the dark color. Like, I could tell Mark's book cover from a mile away based on how dark the cover is.
Talk about shitting on the shelf with your brown.
Fucking Mark Brooks over here. No, he does great work.
Phenomenal.
He's a nice man, too.
He's a great guy. He's just very expensive. But yeah, no, Snyder's...
What were we talking about?
We were talking about Snyder and the League. So, yeah, so this is great. You'll be able to buy Justice League like you normally do if you buy it like us. And just continue reading it, and it's going to be like an event, and crazy shit's going to happen. Can't wait.
Speaking of crazy stuff, Chris.
What?
This next piece of news, I am actually really excited for.
I'm semi-excited for right now.
Well, let me tell you what it is. You got to pretend to be surprised.
Well, I wrote the script.
I know, I just read it. Barely, and not very well.
Got that right.
So there's a new comic book coming out from DC's Black Label. Yes. It's called Joker/Harley, Criminally Insane.
Jokey?
What? I said Joker.
I know, you almost said Jokey. Is Jokey and Harley?
Anyway, let me go, man. So this is going to take a very unique spin and twist and view on the first interaction between Harley and Joker.
Yes.
So Joker in this world is a serial killer. Not too far stretch. Yeah. And Harley has been called down by the GCPD as a criminal psychologist, profile analyst, to try to figure out who the Joker is, why he does this, so that way they can catch him.
Yep.
So instead of Harley being his therapist and be corrupted, it's like her more going on the discovery and more on the detective side of things, trying to figure out. And then I'm assuming once she pieces together why he's doing certain things, she's going to relate to it and understand it.
Well, yeah, they got to show, like, because even in Harley's origin, like, if you read Mad Love...
Great book.
Which is one of the greatest comics of the 90s, in my opinion. It's kind of like Bruce Timm's and Paul Dini's origin of Harley after she was in the show, created for the show. And it goes through very, like, it's a one-shot. It goes through kind of like the rigmarole of, this is Harley and Quinzel. She was a doctor, and the Joker corrupted her, blah, blah, blah. If this delves really deep and dark into that corruption and how it happened,
it's going to involve so much with the psyche, and I'm going to love it.
And it's Black Label, which I'm
the
loving.
Art's going to be great.
I'm loving all the Black Label stuff already.
Yeah, Yeah, I'm trying to think of any Black Label that I don't like.
White Knight started it off. Batman White Knight.
Which is good.
Damned.
Good. We got Bat Penis out of it.
Did get some Bat Schlong Dong. And then now we just started Snyder and Capullo's Last Night on Earth, which just had its first issue.
Deceased is not Black Label. Is it?
No.
Deceased is not.
No.
It's just a fun story.
And then we're going to
get... It feels like it could be a Black Label.
Kind of, yeah. But we got that, and then the next Black Label will be Superman Year One.
Yes.
Frank Miller.
Just so you guys are aware, if you don't know what Black Label is just a darker, grittier side of DC taking the characters to a whole nother level.
And it's outside of the current continuity of things. So
you just read it on its own.
Yeah. It's darker, it's grittier, there's Bat Dangle in it.
That was in one book.
Yeah, it was still there.
So let us know down in the comments below what you think of the Snyder bringing an event into the comic book world instead of buying tie-ins and its own event. And are you excited about this Joker Harley book that is going to spin off and look at the Psychos?
And there's going to be a big one too. Most of the Black Label stuff is between 3-4 issues. This is going to be 9 issues.
Yeah, that's long.
That's a long series.
I think I can't wait for them to release it as a big trade. It's going to be hardcover. I know it. It's going to be great.
Very excited.
Moving right along, guys. We got last little piece of news that we talk about today is movie news. It's about the Uncharted movie.
Movie news?
So, as you may have heard of Uncharted, it's probably a popular game that you may or may not heard of.
Oh, yeah.
I hear it's PlayStation.
Yeah.
I know the story.
I may have all 4 of them and played the shit out of all of them.
No, seriously. Is it really 4? I thought it was 3.
It was 4. 4 came out and was huge. Thief's End.
Oh, I don't play him. I like him. It's like Indiana Jones on a day, right?
How do you not play Uncharted? It's like one of my favorite games.
Because it started on PS3, right?
PS2. Yeah.
I never got on PS2. I never got in on the ground level, and
neither did I. I started PS3.
I didn't have a PS3. Yeah, I did.
I don't know.
You tell me. No.
Probably not.
No, I did. I know I did.
Probably a 360.
Yeah, I had a 360. So I never got it.
I had both. I had 360.
And I was like, I'll get a PlayStation. I mean, if I have Kingdom Hearts, and I just never got in the series. I've watched a lot of it. My friends are very into it.
Series.
It's great. It's like the male Lara Croft Tomb Raider.
It's, to me, if you look at characters from Sony, like their creator-owned characters,
he's big.
Kratos is number 1.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Right.
I was thinking Ratchet and Clank.
No, Kratos is number 1.
Yeah, Kratos is bigger.
Especially now, Kratos has been number 1.
Game.
Kratos is number 1. Nathan Drake might be 2 or 3.
Spyro
hasn't been around for a while.
Spyro's huge.
It
Spyro,
is.
I would say, would be... Is it number 1, though?
I would say Spyro's top 5, but maybe 5. Like, Nathan Drake is probably 3.
I think more people know who Spyro is than Nathan Drake. I think if I show a picture of either both of them, they're going to be like, Spyro. They're going to be like Indiana Jones?
Probably, just on, people who played video games and don't anymore. But
I think Spyro is...
As far as,
it doesn't matter.
Regardless, Nathan Drake is a top 5 PlayStation character. We can agree on that.
I can agree on that. And especially after this movie, he's going to jump right up.
Yeah.
And in this movie, we know that Tom Holland is going to be Nathan Drake.
The Spider-Man.
The Spider-Man is going to be the man of Nathan's.
What, the hot dog company? My question is this, though.
Real quick.
Yes.
Everybody says the hot dog company with Nathan's. I always think of Nathan's Fish and Chips.
What?
They're the same thing, but I always think Fish and Chips and Hush Puppies.
Think of Hush Puppies, yeah.
Yeah, but I always, when people say Nathan's, I always think of fish.
You always got fish and chips at Nathan's, not hot dogs?
Yeah.
Nathan's known for their hot dogs first more than anything.
Is it?
Yeah.
And
cheese fries.
Why do I know it as fish and chips?
Maybe that's what you like there.
When I was younger, I hated hot dogs. Maybe that's
why.
Yeah.
It's known as the hot dog list.
Yeah.
And you know it as Nathan's Fish and Chips? What are you, in fucking England?
I don't know. Am I the only one out there?
Down to Nathan's Fish and Chips.
I had this conversation with somebody at work for 30 minutes. I was like, they're like, oh, Nathan's. I was like, oh, yeah, Nathan's Fish and Chips. You're going to go get some, what are you going to get? And they're like, a hot dog? I'm like, hot dog.
Yes, they're known for hot dogs.
I know, my brother gets them all the time at the house.
Do you realize on July 4th when they have the hot dog eating contest, it's sponsored by Nathan's? And there ain't no fish and chips there, that's for fucking sure.
Yeah, it's hot dogs. It's very
Come on
popular.
down to Nathan's Fish and Chips. Oh,
Anyway.
Hush Puppies, I'll give you though.
They're so good.
They're good. They're known for Hush.
So, here, hold on. We're derailing. Nathan's fish and chips. You get Hush Puppies on the side. If you get a hot dog, you're not getting Hush Puppies with a hot dog.
You can?
What? No, you get French fries with hot dogs. You're not getting a Hush Puppy.
They do have good crinkle cheese fries, though.
Yeah. You think of Hush Puppies and hot dogs together?
No, if I was getting Hush Puppies more times than that, I would get like a fish sandwich.
There you go.
But they're not known for fish and chips. You need to realize this, Rob. Like, they're known for hot dogs.
I mean,
worldwide, it's like, oh,
yeah,
Nathan's
I see the package in my mind.
Nathan's Franks.
Everybody's like Nathan's.
Their logo has a hot dog in it. It's green.
Yeah.
With yellow writing. It's not like there's a fish on the logo. This isn't Long John Silver. It's like it's.
I've never eaten a Long John's. Is he good?
I don't know. I don't eat. You
don't eat?
I don't eat fast food much.
Is Long John's considered fast food?
Yeah, that's seafood fast food to the max.
Is Red Lobster seafood fast food?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Right.
I mean, not saying it's bad.
No.
But it's
the biscuits are fantastic.
Biscuits are the shit. But, like, it's seafood fast food.
Speaking of this shit, Nathan Uncharted movie comes out in 2020 with Tom Holland. I'm excited. I can't wait to see this little man become a star.
I have questions. I have a lot of questions.
It's not known for fish and chips. If that's what you're going to ask me, I have learned otherwise.
No, like, I'm saying,
what's your question?
Tom Holland, even though he's a good actor, and we know him as Spider-Man, and he's going to be a young Nathan Drake, is it going to be, like, flashback? Because I don't see him as regular Nathan Drake.
It might be him becoming Nathan.
Like, we're going to go younger?
It might be a prequel to the movies.
I think we know it is.
Do we?
I think it is.
I'm pretty confident it is.
How much of it's going to be, like... I don't know. I'm very interested.
You don't think he could be... how old is he? He could play as 25.
He's like 20-ish now, right?
They could... And then next year, I'm pretty confident he could act as a 25-year-old.
I'm sure he can. I'm not worried about the acting. I'm just worried, like...
You don't think he'll look the part?
I don't know if he'll look the part yet. Yeah, he's still kind of younger.
Put a beard on him. He has a baby face. You put a beard on him, girls are going to be like, oh, fuck Thor. Look at him.
Fuck Thor. That's all girls talk. Fuck Thor.
Fuck Thor. What we need is fish and chips. With Tom Holland.
Give me your fish and chips. What?
Oh, give me your fish and chips.
It's like Mickey Mouse. But, I just...
saying all women sound like Mickey Mouse?
I'm saying your voice of women sounds like Mickey Mouse.
Oh.
I'm just wondering if it's gonna be Tom Holland in this whole movie as Nathan Drake, as a younger Nathan Drake, or is it gonna be like he's young Nathan Drake, but there's also another one who's like the older version of him that like Nathan Fillion, who looks just like Nathan Drake, who should be Nathan Drake. Do you remember that YouTube series video?
Yes, that was so good.
Which was so great.
Ooh, I really hope so.
Who doesn't want Nathan Fillion to be Nathan Drake at this point?
That's such a good point. I would like that very much. I would like that. I think that'd be good.
We'll see.
All right, Chris. Before we wrap this up.
Yes.
You know what next week is?
Oh, baby, I do.
It's National Fish and Chips Day.
I do love fish and chips. I'm just saying I don't get them in Nathan.
It is E3.
Yes.
We're going to have a E3 special. We might even separate it and do multiple days. We'll see how crazy it is.
We'll see. I mean, it's kind of low-key, but it's kind of not now, right? Because Sony's not there at all.
No.
Not at all.
No.
But but even though they're not there, there are huge games that are going to be talked about and shown this year. The first... I can't even hold this in anymore.
Hold on.
You're making me hold it.
Hold it in. Just because... Word vomit. No, just because Sony's not there doesn't mean that game companies can't release and review and discuss a Sony exclusive.
Exactly.
It's just Sony themselves not doing it. So let's keep that in mind.
But I don't think that's going to happen regardless, because I think they want the press of just a Sony releasing that announcement, which it seems like they're moving towards in their like state of play thing.
Here's the other thing. With them not being there, I know I'm making you hold in a little bit longer.
Sure.
Something we didn't talk about, but DC says they're not going to San Diego.
They're not.
So that's another big company not going to a big thing because they're realizing they could just do it themselves whenever they want.
Yes.
And they released a Wonder Woman poster.
Yes.
So I was like, okay,
which looks very interesting.
It looks like a crossover Guardians of the Galaxy, but we'll get there.
Very gold.
So, yeah. Purple. It's not brown or maroon.
Leave Mark Brooks alone.
But... Leave Mark Brooks alone! No, I'm pretty... but this is just another company realizing that they don't need to go to the events. They have the power with the internet themselves to do it.
Yeah.
All right. I made you hold it on long enough.
Yes.
Tell me what it is.
So, just thinking about all the companies that are there, we know Microsoft and Xbox always has their huge event, usually like the first day. EA is more doing like a live stream event on Saturday.
Hopefully they have Apex Legends updates, but yeah.
Fuck that, all I care about is Star Wars.
Burn me once, shame on me. Burn me 12 times, shame on you.
This is the Star Wars we all want.
We'll see. We will see.
We will see. And I'll be right. But, so EA will be there day one, not doing a conference, but doing their kind of like floor show. Okay. Xbox is going to do a show, Bethesda is going to do a show, Square Enix, Ubisoft, and then Tuesday is the Nintendo Direct.
Oh, so it's happening like tomorrow?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I know. So, in my opinion, the largest game there so far is the Square Enix Avengers game.
Yes.
That will be talked about this year. And that is the game this year, which, here's the thing, Sony's not going to be there. There will be a lot of games that come out and are talked about that Sony will be playable on PlayStation as well as Xbox. Like the Avengers game.
Another game, we saw a trailer for it, but we're going to save it for our E3 conversation because it's all video games.
Yes.
Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Yes.
Looks amazing. And I'm sure we're going to find out more information there. There's been leaks.
Yes, I heard about that as well.
I don't want to talk about it now.
We'll talk about it then.
I'm sure we're going to hear about it officially.
Because we're also probably going to get more info on Tuesday.
Yes. We're going to hear more about it then.
Really quick.
That game I'm very excited for.
I'm very excited for that. I'm very excited for the Avengers game and the Star Wars Jedi Order game by EA. I'm very excited for that.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
And then I really am also very excited for other Nintendo stuff. Like, I really want to hear more about Link's Awakening.
Ooh.
Legend of Zelda for Switch. I also want to hear whatever new stuff Nintendo's doing, because Switch has been so fucking good. I'm probably going to pre-order Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 like today.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
Can't wait for that, because that's in July. We'll probably get some more info on that.
I like how we're getting more games for the Switch finally, and that we're going to love.
Exclusives.
Yes.
Which that's a Switch exclusive. So.
Oh, Fortnite? No, I'm kidding.
And the internet. We get it killed.
Or. It's a big fan base.
Yeah, I know. I don't care.
I used to play it.
I know.
It was too much.
I don't care. I hate Fortnite. But
you just hate it because it's young and hip.
No, not really. I just don't care.
You don't like multiplayer games.
I do. I just don't like that one. Oh. It's pointless.
You try to survive, and you be the winner. It's hard.
I'm sure it's hard.
I never won.
I never won. But
I know nothing makes fun of me when I used to play. I was like, yeah, I came in second. He's like, oh, I won 3 today. I'm like, must be nice.
But I think some of these big title games that I'm really excited to see, like, they're gonna knock the socks off. I'm really interested. I'm also interested about Ubisoft's press conference. Every year they have an interesting press conference. They're talking about a new Watch Dogs game set in London,
looks really cool.
Which sounds really cool. There's rumors about some type of, not like specifically an Assassin's Creed game, but new Ubisoft IP, which I'm really interested in seeing. New Square Enix IP, which they're going to talk about. A big game last year, Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah.
That'll probably be there.
There's a lot. This year is going to be a lot.
Was it Dead or Alive 2?
Yes. There's going to be a lot of rebirth and new IP and the beginning of new legacies that we're going to be on the ground level for, and I can't wait.
But here's the thing I was actually holding in.
All right.
The biggest prediction of all.
All right.
I think the biggest thing that will happen at E3 besides those big-time games...
Not a console release, right?
I think whatever Microsoft is planning on talking about with this new console...
You think so?
...will set the tone for the next couple years.
Mm.
And I think part of the reason that Sony... Sorry. Your slightly sexual modes of agreement. Oh, God. But I think something that... Easy, Serena Williams. But, like, something that will set the tone of, like, not only a couple of years to come, but partially Sony saying, listen, we're going to do our stuff on our own time because we are already the shit right now. And we have all this stuff. we kind of are doing our own pace. We're also working on the next gen console, but we kind of want to see what these fuckers do because they've been playing this shit almost a little further than us. And I think it's gonna be really interesting to see whatever Xbox shows, whether it's the streaming capabilities, because we know that Google console's coming out with the streaming capabilities of games, and at this point, it's not even about remember when everything was about graphics in the next gen?
Oh yeah, now it's more about
gameplay. Storage, speed, power, and VR. So it's going to be an interesting.
We're going to go into like Ready Player One.
Yes.
That's the next scale you mean.
So we will be covering all of that
and more.
I will be watching all of the things live. I will be having my laptop open, writing down every game.
I will make sure to post everything that I see.
I will be exhausted, but it'll be worth it. It'll be fun. And then Rob and I are going to talk about a bunch of fucking games we really can't wait for and are excited for.
So that wraps up this episode of the Jersey Comic Krew Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let us know down in the comments below what your E3 predictions are. This probably is going to come out late, so tell us what your favorite was. And then during the E3 actual discussion, tell us again.
Yes.
Let us know what you think about everything that we talked about here. What was your favorite moment? Make sure you keep the conversation going on our social media pages. That is Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you are listening to us, thank you so much for listening. Make sure you leave the comment and review on iTunes. That helps us a lot. Same thing with Spotify. If you guys are watching on YouTube, again, thank you. Make sure you leave a comment down below. Give us a like, a comment, subscribe, and share this with everybody else so that way we can keep the channel growing and keep doing this for all of you. As always, I'm Rob Moran.
And I'm Chris Heller.
And we'll see you next time.
And really quick, before you leave, we have an interview for you guys at the end of this.
What?
I almost forgot.
No, I was gonna.
Oh, really?
I was gonna do that.
I totally almost forgot. But yeah, so I was at the East Coast Comic Con. I have about like a 15-minute interview I got with Yannick Paquette. He is the artist for Wonder Woman Earth 1. And he just was in the Superman Leviathan special, which is a huge book, which we'll talk about probably next week. But I talked to him about that, about Wonder Woman, about writers, artists. It's about 15 minutes. Unfortunately, it's only audio. We didn't have video capabilities at the time. So if you're watching, definitely go to the audio side. It'll be right at the end of this episode. And if you're listening right now, stay tuned. It's going to start right now. All right, everyone. Hey, it's Chris Heller here from the Jersey Comic Krew, and I am here at the East Coast Comic Con in Jersey with Mr. Yannick Paquette. How are you, sir?
Hello.
Thank you so much for doing this, by the way.
It's a pleasure.
So I just want to ask you a couple questions about Action Comics specifically, Leviathan.
Okay.
I know you're.
I don't know what I can reveal or not.
What you can say?
Yeah, probably very little. Yeah, that thing's coming out in 2 weeks, I think.
I think so.
At least Leviathan Rising.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of mystery shroud around it. So,
yes.
And sometimes I follow what DC's allowing to come out as information. I'll read what Bendis has already been.
Yes.
He
likes to talk about the books. Yeah.
So, but I'm not quite sure what's. Well, do your best. I'll see what I whatever.
Well, you'll be one of the main artists on the main one shot, correct?
No. Well, no, that's Alex Maleev is taking care of the it's a 6-issue miniseries.
Yeah.
So Bendis over at Marvel is well known for those huge.
Yes.
Jews that encompass everybody and their friends and everything. So this is the first one he does for DC.
Okay.
So that's exciting.
Yeah.
I've done last year one issue of Action Comic 1003.
Yes.
With Bendis, and I really enjoyed it, and he liked it enough that he wanted to work with me again.
Yeah.
Well, my main schedule is Wonder Woman and Earth 1, but in between those massive commitment of a year and a half of totally. Just working in the shadow. Because that's an original graphic novel, yeah. Yeah, they take forever to do, and when I finished one, I like to explore what's going on in the real world, like totally. in the DCU proper.
Yeah.
And so I did that issue with Bendis, and I could fit one issue of Batman with Tom, which I did, 69.
Yeah, part of the Nightmare arc. Yeah. With the dancing.
Yeah, the last issue of that. And I could fit something else, which was, as it turned out, this Leviathan thing. At first, it was 25 pages and turned into 40. So
that'll take a little time.
Yeah, so I'm doing 40 pages of. It's a 80-page giant size extravaganza.
That's awesome.
So I'm doing half of it, and Mark Perkins and who's the other guy? What else? They're
Francis
also
Manipal, I think.
No.
Attached to it?
No. Because they're also launching kind of inside that Leviathan Rising special. Both Jimmy Olsen series with Mike Fraction and it's Duck. Is that,
it is, and then Lois Lane as well.
Yeah, and Lois Lane. It's Mike Perkin and Greg.
Yep, Greg Rucka.
So they're inside the book too. So
totally.
it's an adventure. It's a Superman adventure, but centered around this Leviathan persona.
Person who we don't know is
or organization or thing.
Amazing. Now, so your main schedule, you're saying, is around Wonder Woman Earth 1.
Yeah. Now I'll have to get back to Wonder Woman Earth 1.
So that'll be Volume 3.
There'll be Volume 3. Second one, I got a Eisner Award nomination for that thing, so I figured, well, might as well do a third one.
Yeah, right.
But honestly, that was part of the plan. When the first one came out and we looked at how we keep going, it was a 2-parter story, so the third volume is going to be a lot of work for me. It's I feel it might be a Return of the King type book of armies against armies.
That's awesome.
Fighting for pages and pages. So that's a lot of work for me. And we are looking forward to have it ready for Wonder Woman 80th anniversary.
Awesome, yep.
Which is 2021.
2021, it's coming up soon.
Yep.
Which I'm sure DC is going to plan a lot of stuff around that.
Yeah. They're gonna
maybe variant covers, I'm sure.
Yeah, but Wonder Woman Earth 1 is this huge, massive project that has been, and that will be the end of a saga for me, because I feel like most of my adult life has been committed to drawing this thing.
Yeah.
And it takes forever. So.
Yeah, and I was going to say, because Wonder Woman, when I talked to you yesterday about it, when I look at Wonder Woman, I think of your art.
Oh.
Is that something that is now connected with you, now that you've been doing Diana over and over again? And even from Volume 1 to 2, you could show some of the differences and the epicness?
To me, I mean, from a fan point of view, I think I'm a lot more connected to the Swamp Thing, the run that I did with Scott just before that.
Scott,
That's a long time ago, but I think it resonated with people, and it was different and striking enough that people still associate me to that. And people love not everybody, because that book is challenging.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing eventually I'm going to be well known for more Wonder Woman, because I've spent a lot more time drawing Wonder Woman. Yep. But it is a peculiar book. I mean, it's a niche, weird thing. Yeah. It's not the regular, book, the Wonder Woman thing.
You're talking mythology, monotheism, but real world.
But when I'll be done, it will easily be the longest I stayed with a character.
Awesome.
And I did Wonder Woman before. And,
you did?
Yeah, in the 90s. I did like a year of that.
Yeah. So what would be something, when you're finished with Earth 1, is there anything you really want to do with DC? Is there a character you really want to tackle?
Not really. I have a few ideas that I need to pitch with the boys there.
Yeah, with Dan?
With Dan. Sit with Dan. But, there's a Wonder Dog. You don't see it because it's a podcast, but it's pretty cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Wonder Dog.
Wonder Woman Dog.
Yep.
It just broke my train of thought, that dog. I'm afraid.
But is there like a character, like I know you've done a couple issues of Batman here and there.
Yeah.
You've done some Superman as well. Are those characters, I know we were talking, you like to do characters with a lot of face value, so can you make it your own?
Yeah.
Is that something, maybe Green Lantern?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not really character-oriented, strangely. I was when I was a kid, more, I like this guy's cool, I love his adventure. Nowadays, I'm a lot more excited by the writers. So if I got to work with a writer I want to work with on a absolutely shitty character, I'll be happy, and turn this thing into gold or something.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. Because from a graphic point of view, I'm going to say something terrible here, but Batman and Spawn are the same requirement for me. I mean, it's guys with capes on top of building by night.
Yeah.
So graphically, it's the same challenge.
Backgrounds, it's a lot of linear.
And so, and a character like Swamp Thing is proof enough that if you, after Alan Moore turned that thing into something rich and complex, and it's not to say that Len and Bernie didn't do something awesome on their own. But that's
great.
It shows that we are truly in a
at a Comic-Con.
Yeah. It's not fake.
Yup, unedited. They're promoting Val Kilmer right now. There's a Batman right there.
Yeah. Sometimes they start to talk like that. It never ends. It takes a long time.
Yeah, like now.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, it's still going.
Yeah, it's still going. The voice of God.
How rude! Right in the middle of our interview. Right?
I don't know.
They should know you're talking.
I thought it was done.
Yeah. So
I was sure.
It's like that joke that won't stop. That you think it's funny for a while, and then the person keeps saying the joke.
But then it became funny again after a while. See, there's
it's coming back around.
A few steps, and then it's not funny again, and then later down the road it might get funnier. Anyway, she stopped. So
awesome. So take me a little bit into the art process. So I know you do a lot of watercolors when you're doing your paintings and everything. How does that? Would you say is that more tedious compared to just the random sketch art? Because of the amount of water you're using per brush, per color, like that just sounds like one page would take like months at a time.
The thing is, I'm doing watercolor work only at shows.
Yeah.
All that stuff that I do at home, it's all digital. Mm-hmm. There's no pencils. There's no ink involved.
Yeah.
My office is like pristine, clean. It's just a computer with a Cintiq table and my Cintiq tablet and my pen. My stylus.
Yeah.
That's all there is. And that show, I don't know. I think it's the revenge of matter.
Yeah.
And so I'm using the most juicy, messy thing I can find. Maybe to compensate, to balance my life.
Yeah, totally.
But really, I found out that watercolor, because it's an impulsive media, you need to go fast. There's something organic to it. Really fits the way I draw at convention, which is not the same as when I draw for books.
Yeah.
I draw very detailed. Everything is like very controlled.
Yes.
And at shows, I'm a lot more. I want to go for a much more scenic, like more, impulsive drawing. I mean, watercolor is great for when you draw a Swan Thing sketches because then you can get like some texture going.
Add the colors together into the depths and everything.
And it gives an artsy, fartsy vibe to the thing. And it doesn't require too much control, which is what I like. I mean, I got, I see guys doing Copic marker.
Yeah.
Awesome work with gradation and things. And it takes a level of control, which I just don't. I can't do it.
After a while, I mean, especially with
and watercolor you can get like those same kind of gradation.
Yeah.
But it's just like a juicy mess, and then you pretend, that's what I wanted.
That's what I wanted the whole time. Well, I was thinking because of the I remember those Justice League covers you did, the ones that connected.
Yep.
Those 1 through 9, 8 covers
that
had all the rubble, and it was so.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like simple poses, but you're talking backgrounds of just
the background is a unifying element to it all. When they did the New 52, they got this crazy idea. Was it New 52? No, it's Rebirth.
Rebirth.
When they did Rebirth, they had this idea of having a alternate cover for every book. She never ends.
She hasn't stopped.
She just keep going.
She must not be a fan of the podcast.
Yeah, she knows. And so they offered me to do a cover. Like there was a few books out there that were coming twice a month, which is a lot of work.
It is.
Because I was doing Wonder Woman Earth 1, that doesn't matter to me. I could do twice a month like a cover because I can move my schedule around. Mm-hmm. I'm not on a book that need a deadline, a fixed shipping date, because when we're done with Earth 1, we ship, and that's it. So I agreed to do it. And they asked me what character you want to do. I remember there was like Flash in it.
Yeah.
And I thought, I could do Flash, but I thought, for a year, 24 generic cover of Flash. Yeah. What can you do,
I think he's running again.
Running toward you. That's one.
Running away, running sideways.
Just his ass going further into the distance. So I thought, oh man, I'm going to run out of idea in like 3 months. That's 6 issues.
6 issues
it
already.
It goes very fast.
Yeah, it is.
So I thought, at least, with GLA I can have make a spotlight on these 2 characters or 2 others or whatever.
Totally.
But I thought there will be certainly a lot of everybody's in the panel type pose. You know what Jim Lee's good at.
Very
everybody
good
pointing and running toward you,
flexing in there.
But the thing, Jim already done every composition with that combination of everybody's running toward you
with every character,
with all the X-Men and the Israeli run. I mean, he covered everything.
Yeah.
So leaving nothing for us.
Yeah, basically.
So that first issue I did like this group shot.
Yeah.
But then I figured, well, maybe I can save some time by getting one image approved, like a huge image that would cover 9 issue worth of generic cover.
That's awesome.
And I think the art director Charello was happy with it. Actually, I did the first 3 to say we could do that, and I just could keep going,
Yeah.
And then you approve one thing, and then we're good to go. You don't need to talk to me for like 3 months.
Awesome. Like, all right, here's another one.
Sure. Because at the time he had to art direct all of those covers like twice a month for most of the books. So I've managed to do that single image, and I have a print at home of it, which is like super long.
I bet
it's just a long thing.
It's like your whole living room, basically.
Yeah. It's 11 by 17 by. No, it's 17 by something.
Yeah.
Like long.
Really long.
Like
17 by long.
Like a roll type long.
Yeah.
And that was fun. But then I did a few other generic poses of everybody in it.
Yeah. Yeah, I picked those up as well. So, is there any other writer, you were talking about writers that you would love to work with? Who's some of them you like to work with?
On the top of my list this day, there's Jeff Lemire.
Great guy.
Yeah, we've met many times. We kind of look alike in a way. We're both Canadian. We've almost worked together many times.
Really?
Yeah, it never happened. We when I was doing Swamp Thing, was doing Animal Man, and then he co-wrote with Scott some issue, which, as it turned out, were my fill-in issue that I didn't have to do.
Nice.
So I didn't work with him then. We've been talking about project here and there through the years, and it never happened yet. But eventually. But now, I mean, I'm exclusive at DC, and I think he vowed to do create your own from now on, which is great because he's doing very, very good for himself with those things.
Yeah, he is.
Black Hammer is fantastic, and I think he has a good TV deal associated to it all.
He does.
So there's really no need to play ball and
back
do
in the superhero
DC,
world.
Do the DC dance. So maybe when I'll get out of DC one day, I'll rejoin him and do it.
And do something.
Yeah, do it
independent.
Yeah. Beyond him, I don't know. There's I'd love to work with Jason Aaron again.
He's phenomenal.
I really had fun doing stuff. But then again, he's at Marvel. I'm at DC. So Neil Gaiman, why not?
Right. Who wouldn't?
We're putting name out there.
Just we're throwing names, right? We're just spitballing.
Yeah.
So that'd be awesome. But thank you so much. I don't want to take up too much of your time, obviously. I know you're busy, man. He's drawing artwork right now at his booth. So thank you so much for that.
All right, man.
I will see you next time. Thank you so much.